Folks, jury selection in the case of Sean Diddy Combs has been postponed after the federal judge granted a request from the defense team. The prosecution, they objected to that. This is the final step to narrow down the potential jurors from 45 down to the folks who were here at the jury, as well as the alternates. Legal analyst Candace Kelly was sitting in the courtroom today. Candace joins us right now. So what the heck happened?
Well, here's what happened. You had 45 jurors that we had these hundreds of jurors finally whittled down to. And so today was supposed to be the day where the attorneys were supposed to ask the jurors, and they were going to seat those 12 jurors and 6 alternate jurors. What happened was that over the weekend, there was one juror who wrote to court and said, look, for my well-being, I really don't want to be a part of this. And then there was another potential juror who actually lied on his questionnaire. He was a part and is a part of a lawsuit against the city of New York, and he did not disclose that. So because of that, we are now down to 43 jurors. What the judge was scared of was that if the jurors were seated today, then they would spend the next 48 hours thinking about their situation, and then they'd have even more jurors pulling out, and then Monday would be a no-go. So he decided, let's just wait till Monday. We're going to seat all of the jurors, and then thereafter, we're going to go right into our opening argument. So that's what happened. They want to make sure that this pool stays intact.
So it's a pool of 45, but it's going to be narrowed down to exactly how many?
It's going to be 12 jurors and then 6 alternate jurors for a total of 18. And right now we're at 43 because of those 2 jurors who are no longer a part of this process.
Gotcha. And so, but it's not like there's going to be a delay in the trial. There's simply a delay in this final jury selection process.
Exactly. And it really is a part of strategy in order to make sure that everybody stays intact. Because at that point, if today they decided, hey, all right, we've selected our 12 jurors and our 6 alternate, and then out of those 12 or those 6, you had more people pull out, well, then we're back at the beginning again. And he did not want that to happen. He knows how fraught this case is. He knows how worried people are about not only their livelihoods, but their potential safety, you know, what people think of the case. People are crazy out there. Will they say or do anything to jurors? There's a lot to think about. And if you're allowed 48 hours this weekend to think about that, you might potentially pull out for all of the media coverage and everything in and around this case. So that's where we are now. But, you know, one of the key things today was another argument that was made, and that had to do with Cassie and coercive force. And this was very important because we got a chance to see the strategy of the defense. Here's what we learned. We learned that the defense is going to say that Cassie herself, not only was she in an abusive domestic violent relationship, but she herself was violent. And therefore, for her to be coerced into a certain situation that they are saying Diddy did, she couldn't have been coerced because she's a fighter herself. She's abusive herself. And because that's the way they interacted, the defense is saying, Sean thought that just carried over into other parts of their lives. So you have to have this prerequisite of the coercion in order to get to the sex trafficking, which is why this coercion part is very important. Was she coerced or not? Is she this violent fighter that they seem to be going in? Well, that will be in the direction that's going to be up to the jury to decide. But there definitely is a part of their plan to say she herself was an abusive partner.
What about this missing key witness?
Yeah. You know, the missing key witness is important because as we go into opening arguments, we know that the prosecution and the defense, they lay out their roadmap as to what witnesses are going to hear, what their arguments are going to be, what evidence is going to prove their case. So we have this one witness, this victim that has gone missing in a sense. And they've been trying, the defense, the prosecution team has been trying to reach her attorney, and they say that there are personal issues going on, and therefore she may not be able to be a part of this case. And this is important, and I think important for the prosecution. This is a win for them that at least they know beforehand she's not going to be there. Because the one thing you don't want to do, Roland, is promise the jurors that they're going to hear from a witness, then all of a sudden that witness doesn't appear. It's kind of suspect, and there certainly will be talk about that in a deliberation room. So I'm sure that they're glad to get that out of the way. And listen, the door is open. Anything could happen over the weekend. That's what's really important about this case. It is so huge being compared to the OJ trial. It is something with so many eyes on it, tens of millions of dollars being spent, 8 weeks of time, over 100 witnesses. Listen, this was narrowed down from 700 people in terms of a pool of jurors down to the 43 that we are at now. This is a huge deal, and I would say that that door is open for even more things to potentially change before we hear from opening arguments on Monday.
All right, then. So it's a lot going on there, and this is expected to last some 2 months. And again, the prosecution, what they actually have to prove is that these parties crossed the line from being drug-fueled sex parties to coercion.
And then really what the defense is going to be saying is, look, this was consensual. These are two consenting adults. Roland, a lot of people speak about this case in terms of this being compared to the R. Kelly case. The difference between this and R. Kelly is that there were no children involved in this particular case, which is why the defense is going with these are consenting adults that are part of this. A lot of people have also been asking, well, if this is a RICO case and you have different people, getting together and you're part of this criminal enterprise, where are the other people? Well, we're going to find out, I'm sure, that the other people made deals. Now, is this good for the prosecution? No, because if they made deals, they possibly could have lied in order to get those deals. But this is why we are seeing Sean Combs singularly in this courtroom, because other people have made deals, but we will certainly hear from those other people on the witness stand tell their story.
Oh, indeed, indeed. All right, Candace, appreciate that breakdown.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.